Hola, hermanas. Welcome to ¿Quién es la más? My name is Yi.
And I am Braulio. And like always, before we start, remember to subscribe and rate the podcast. Tell your friends about the show. It would help us immensely to get the word out. We appreciate all the support.
Thank you so much. And today we are recapping La Más Draga Season 5, Episode 5. And we are a little late with this episode. We were busy during the week, and we're recording this on Halloween. Ooh, scary.
Spooky. What was scary was the results of the challenge this week. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, some of the performances were terrifying. And yeah, so this is gonna, if you're listening to this on Halloween, then we literally just recorded it. So what did you think of this episode? It was kind of like like the past impersonating challenges were a little different. I guess they just kind of change it every season. But yeah, what did you think about this?
Yeah, they've been changing it as far as the structure of it, because this time they did like a weakest link parody. The other one that I remember was like a dating game thing. So yeah, it seems like they're just gonna keep finding different ways of putting the like quote unquote kind of like snatch game episode. I just felt like it was like jam packed. Like basically, they had two main challenges, even though one they said it was the mini challenge, but I felt like that could have been its own episode. They should have separated them.
I thought so too. I thought it was very weird that they tried to put two different and didn't even like kind of correlate with each other, like two different
Yeah.
challenges. It was just kind of weird. I don't know if they just wanted more content, but they could, like you said, they could have done that separately and gotten an extra episode out of it. But I pretty much enjoyed it. I thought it was, the actual challenge was pretty short, and so it kind of left me wanting more. But I did enjoy seeing them kind of get out of their box and do something different. Um, I did not know a lot of these people, a lot of the people that they chose. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of just did a little quick Google when I heard their names, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say that, I'm not a huge expert on how these people are supposed to act. I'm just gonna base it off of like if they were funny or not. So that's yeah.
I think a lot of them were like already built characters. And I don't know if that's another like a rights thing that sometimes Drag Race runs into where you can't really, well, I guess yeah. So that's the opposite of with Drag Race, right? Because with Drag Race you can't really like say like I'm trying to think of a character that someone could play and they can't use their name. Like for example, like Reese Witherspoon. Someone will impersonate Reese Witherspoon, but they're gonna use the most well-known character that she has, which is Elle Woods from Legally Blonde, but they won't actually call it Elle Woods. They'll call it Reese Witherspoon. And here they're actually using the names of the characters that somebody else created. And they're not like impersonating a living person. Yeah. So that was a little different than what we see.
Yeah, I mean it's different in the way that they handle it. It's kind of the same if they were to do it in the US. But I guess the what's it called, the rights or the copyright, it's different in Mexico. I guess you can do that and you don't get in trouble for it. I don't even know if it's like that in the US because I don't think they would get in trouble for it, but they're just trying to
avoid
avoid somebody getting mad and coming after them.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it's I don't know. Sometimes it's like, okay, who cares? Just say what you're doing. Anyways, let's get into this episode. So this week the challenge is La Más Famosa. The queens are challenged to impersonate a celebrity in the game show La Draga Más Débil. For this week's mini challenge, they have to put 3 Uber drivers in full drag and create a skit promoting the company. On the main stage, Liza Zansuzi is named La Más of the Week. Uma Kyle and Santa Lucia are las menos. They battle it out, but in the end, they battle it out in a lip sync to Mírame by Edith Marquez. In the end, Uma Kyle becomes the 4th queen to be added to the drag altar, where she will be remembered. Did I say who was in the bottom? Uma Kyle and Santa Lucia. Anyways, that's my script writing. Very professional. So let's begin the episode. Like always, we're introduced to the main challenge, and they introduce the main challenge. So first of all, the main challenge is, like you said, kind of it's a parody of
The weakest link.
The Weakest Link. Yeah. So then they introduce the mini challenge where they have to make over. Like, this is a whole episode in itself. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole makeover episode where they get three people to come in that are, I guess,
4.
trying to.
Yeah,
Uber
it's like
paying,
4 Uber drivers, and who have like various disabilities, which is why I'm like, why wouldn't you want to focus on that? Because you're trying to send a message, right? To, I guess it works as an ad as well, but you're also kind of trying to break stereotypes when it comes to people with disabilities, and instead they're like relegated to a mini challenge instead of focusing it on them. But they do, I mean, they do have they do give them their moment when they start talking, like in the Camerino Nix and stuff. But still, I think it could have been a whole episode, and they could have like had to pad out time if they really wanted to. They could have had a regular runway as they always do, in addition to this challenge.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I thought this part of the show was stronger than the other half, the second half. And they could have just incorporated, like, maybe, like you said, the runway, but just as a look instead of a challenge. Like, just look like you're like a famous person or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been more successful. But yeah, so they make over 4 people in groups. And then they just kind of chat and talk about their experiences with, I guess, Uber driving. That's Uber drivers. Because that's what they're focusing on. Because I guess Uber has gotten in trouble for some of their drivers being rude or discriminating and things of that nature, and so they're
So they
trying
paid La
to,
Más Draga
yeah,
to have to say their name a few times in order to kind of clear up any issues with the LGBTQ plus community.
and to rehabilitate their image a little bit, make themselves, have themselves a little makeover, I guess. So, I mean, it was pretty interesting. Their conversations, I thought they
Yeah.
made a good point to show both sides, and they kind of just left it at that. Nobody kind of went like overboard. They kind of just said their experiences, and that was pretty much it. It was not really about the drag. They pretty much they were just putting makeup on them, and they were sitting and talking about Uber, and that's pretty much it. Nothing about like the power in drag or how is this gonna make you feel or whatever. But anyways, we get onto the skits, and the skits are pretty much what you expect. It's just them trying to, again, promote the company, and they're focusing on kind of like making a scenario where one of the drivers is, I guess, having a dispute with one of the people they're driving, um, And so yeah, that was pretty much the skits for everybody. What did you think of the skits?
I didn't agree with the winners. I thought some of the other ones were better. Um, I think who ends up winning, and they give like a second prize too. But let's see. So it's Light King, Hidden, Mistake, and Fifi, who are in a team, and they end up winning bonus points and free wigs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give like a second prize to Uma and Lisa, who were in another team, and they get wigs as well. But yeah, I thought the winners team was like their skit was a little awkward to me. Um, I'm assuming they probably won because of the I guess the content of their skit or the heart of their skit, but it wasn't really funny, and I didn't think it was that interesting. I thought because I think it was Fifi and the guest who were involved in the skit. The other two just I guess sat there and watched, or I don't know if they helped with the writing or whatever. But um, yeah, some of the interactions between Fifi and Jose Antonio, the guest, were a little awkward. Um, and the second place ones, which was Uma and Lisa, it didn't stand out to me as much either. So yeah, I thought it was really strange that they didn't really say why they won, or who. I guess it was just what's his name, Rogelio, who kind of picked them, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think there was much of they were not they're not like they were it's not like they were very different, you know. It's they were kind of all the same, and nobody really like stood out as much as the other. Like it was just kind of like all the same kind of scenarios, same
Hmm.
storyline, and nothing was like super super funny that you go, okay, this is the clear winner, and nothing really bombed either that you were like, oh yeah, these are clearly in the bottom. But the winners, like you said, they get 3 stars and a wig, so 3 stars added to their score in the end, and that's really good because we're gonna see that that came in handy. So I don't know
Yeah.
if they just play it up on the scores, because
Right.
I don't know if the scores are real. Honestly, at this point, I feel like the scores are just they're just putting them there so we can see. Oh yeah, they actually scored them, but they're probably just
Yeah.
drawing on their little pads, and that's what what they want us to think. So
Yeah.
we move on from here. Well, did anybody really impress you with their makeover? Because I can't remember what they look like, honestly.
No, especially because they didn't really focus on that, because the only time that they showed us the makeover, the results, was during the skit, and they were like behind this big cardboard car. So it wasn't really about that.
Yeah, they were in the passenger seat, and they were pretty much being blocked from like the shoulders down, so you can't really see much.
Hmm.
So yeah, it kind of defeated the purpose, I think. Like, why even put in them in drag if that's not going to be the focus?
And that's why they should have had a runway to show that off. And again, that could have been its own episode altogether. Give them a moment.
This is yeah, this was much easier than like one person doing one person each. You know, you got a group of three making over someone. That's I think that would have been um, easier on them. You know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's move on to the actual challenge where they have to impersonate a famous person, and I'm just gonna go down the line. Um, and name who everybody was impersonating. So first we have Paper, and he was doing Mara Escalante, who I don't know who that is. A lot of these people I don't know who they are.
She's an actress, so she has a character, and that's the character that Paper was doing, Doña Lucha.
Doña Lucha. And
Yeah.
Uma was doing Federica Pelucho, which I do remember her. I don't have that much reference, but I do remember seeing her on TV. Greta White was Luna Gil. Light King was Veneno. Liza Sansusi was Teresa or Tere la Secretaria.
Mm-hmm.
Fifi Esta was Lolita Ayala. Santa Lucia was Maria Felix. Peque Valdera was Paulina Rubio. And Hidden Mistake was La Chilindrina. One of the copyrighted, I guess, characters.
One of the most popular ones. A lot of people do this one.
Yes. And so we have a little, like you said, the Weakest Link game show, and they kind of just give them one line each. They, I guess Maka, the conductor, she just goes down the line and asks them a question, and that's pretty much it. That's all we get. We don't really get interactions. We don't get any more answers. Nothing. Like, it's just one answer for each, and it's over. But from those answers, let's judge this challenge. So I guess the first one, let's go with Paper. What did you think of Paper's performance?
I quite liked Paper's characterization. I thought I was a little worried during the ensayos because just like they had some actress, I don't remember her name, helping them with like putting together their characters, right? And then I was a little worried because Paper seemed a little shy when he was doing the imitation, and I think it ended up coming out really well. I do think that he should have been a little louder so that the mic could catch his voice a little better, but overall I think the character was really funny and distinct as well.
Yeah, he stayed in character. It was not hilarious, but it was funny at times, and he stayed in character the whole time, and it was so weird to see him like in such different drag. It was so weird.
Yeah,
but I think that's why I enjoyed it too, because it was just so different from anything we've seen. So yeah, I liked it. The next one is Uma Kyle, and she did Federica Pelucho. What did you think of Uma?
Uma, I think her character wasn't defined enough. She was basically playing Uma, but in dressing like Federica, right? And she wasn't doing like a distinct voice or anything, so I think she kind of got lost in the character. Like, she didn't define it enough.
Yeah, I guess the voice was the big deal for them. They were saying that the voice wasn't like the actress, and I have no idea what she sounds like. I guess she sounds just a little more, she has a little bit more of an aggressive tone to her voice, but I didn't find her funny at all. It's hard to it's hard to judge because like they only had one answer, but from what she did, it was just kind of basic. She didn't really look that different from what she usually looks like. So I didn't really connect to this. I didn't think she bombed either, but I don't think it was funny. So the next one is Greta White doing Luna Gil, and I don't know who that is. Do you?
No, but she seems like kind of like a Paris Hilton type, where she's just famous for being famous, and maybe famous for her surgeries.
So she does look like she has been touched by an angel, like RuPaul says.
And by angel, I mean a couple of doctors. I thought Greta did a lot better in the ensayos. I thought like she was establishing something interesting there, but when it came to the actual challenge, I don't think she knew how to improv, and she wasn't funny in the moment. But I liked the little flourishes that she did for the character, because I have no idea, like I've never seen or heard Luna Gil speak, but what she built, I think was good. She wasn't funny.
No, I just found it again super basic. I guess she was going for like a dumb kind of approach.
Yeah.
Like just acting very like, where am I? Like, okay, I'm just dumb and I'm just whatever. But she didn't take it all the way there. It was just very flat. And that's saying something.
I think she used that as an excuse to cover up that she didn't know what to say in the moment.
Probably. Yeah, I can see that. So I didn't really like it. I thought it was forgettable. The next one is Light King, and she is Veneno, which I do have some knowledge of Veneno. And I enjoyed it. I thought she did a good job. Honestly, I'm not the biggest like I don't know much about the accent, and I know one of the judges clocked her for that. But it sounded okay to me. Like I was like, okay, yeah, she sounds fine. Again, she could have pushed it farther, been funnier, but I think she had the attitude and the character down, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me, Light King was one of the better ones. I think the character was well constructed. I'm not familiar with Veneno. I know there's it's a character in a show, but I had never like seen them speak or anything. But I think overall I liked what Light King built. Like you, I think it could have been funnier, could have had some jokes in there, but I did notice like when other people were answering, Light King kind of always stayed in character and was kind of like caressing the podium and stuff. So I'm assuming Veneno is a very like sexual character. That's kind of what I got from Light King's performance. So yeah, I think Light King was definitely one of the better ones for this challenge.
Yes, and just for references, I guess, or just to be clear, Veneno is an actual person. And the TV show is just based on her.
But the TV show is scripted, right?
Yeah, it's a scripted TV show, like based on her story.
Built on. Okay.
Yeah. The next one up is Liza Sansusi, and she is playing an actual character, right? That somebody created. Tere la secretaria. I haven't seen this character be done. So what did you think of this?
To me, it was not a home run. Sports reference for y'all out there, but definitely one of the best to me. I thought Liza definitely had a lot of moments, and she kind of took over the stage a lot of the times, and so she kind of commanded that attention, which I think it can go either really well or not, because some of the other queens could be like, no, she's taking our spotlight, our moments, but I think she did well with it. We didn't hear any complaints, unless there were and they cut them, but definitely a lot of personality, and I think she did really well tonight.
Yeah, I think she did well. I didn't really enjoy the character. I feel like it was one note for me. She didn't really have much than just being like super like crazy, man crazy, and that was it. I don't know. I just found it like very repetitive, even though she kind of only did like one thing or answered one question, which is also like, I think one of the judges was like, why don't you add this and this? I'm like, they only had one chance to do
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what else can they do? But compared to the rest of them, I do agree that she was one of the better ones, staying in full character. The voice, I guess it was the same. I don't know, but she changed her voice, so that was good. It was like a full character, so I did enjoy that. The next one is Fifi Está, and she is playing Lolita Ayala. What did you think of Fifi?
I think Fifi. I love like the outfit and the makeup and that whole. I think she did a good job in like physically like embodying the character, and I like that she took a lot of risks, but some of them did not go well. Like, what the heck was that whole exorcist thing where she was basically having some sort of demon fit up there? And yeah, I didn't understand that. I don't know if that's a reference to something that has happened to this Lolita Ayala, but that was really strange. Again, I like that she took the risk, but it wasn't. Some of the bits didn't come out too well.
Yeah, I think since we had so little time with them and they only had one answer, she should have just stuck to like one iconic thing, something that's just like everybody knows about her, and kind of done that instead of trying to incorporate something that's not even part of her character, like being possessed by a demon. But I do think she did a good job in general, and considering that, she added that. But the look was great, and I got the character. I got what she was trying to do. I just don't think she was as successful as she wanted to be. The next one is Santa Lucia, and she's playing Maria Felix, which I think is the second time they've done Maria Felix on the show.
I feel like it's more than 2 times, but
wasn't it one time 2 people did it?
I think so. I know Madison was one of them, right?
Yeah.
And there was a little call out to her from Santa Lucia where because they also had a moment where they're walking in, and so they had a little intro for each of them, and Santa Lucia is like, I've never said te mando un beso in my life, so kind of throwing a shade at Madison, that because that was the line that Madison kept saying. But anyways, I don't know. I think Santa Lucia tried to go for a more probably like realistic twist to the character, and it ended up not being very funny. But I like that even though it wasn't coming out funny, she still committed to the role and she kept going, didn't give up. But yeah, it wasn't the best imitation.
No, I didn't like it. I don't even like her look. I thought her look was kind of messy, and it was just not. I didn't understand the character. I don't know if she wanted to be like a bitch or like she was just kind of confused.
Both.
Or both. It was just
confused bitch.
It was just not great. It didn't really have. She should. It didn't have like a point of view, like I don't know, like one thing that I can call back to and be like, oh yeah, I remember that, or she did really good in that. But no, like I just didn't get it. I just didn't get the character. I don't know what she was doing. That could have been anybody. So I didn't like it. The next one is Peque Valdera, and she did Paulina Rubio. And this one I did know a little bit more. Paulina Rubio. Honestly, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought she was she wasn't like hilarious, but she was funny. Just like trying to see her do Paulina Rubio and
Mm-hmm.
some of her mannerisms and stuff. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
fun to see that, and I know that some of the judges did. They were like very picky about it. They were like,
Yeah.
"You should have done this and this and this," and it was like she did fine. Like she did okay. Like
Mm-hmm.
she was good. So I enjoyed it. I thought she did a good job.
Same. Yeah. I think there were a little too many repeat jokes, but like we've been saying, they only have a limited amount of time, and that's kind of the point of these things. Like you gotta focus on one or two things about the person and run with them, and kind of base your character around that. Because otherwise, it's just you don't have enough time to showcase a full character. Um, so yeah, I think overall, I really enjoyed Becca's performance here. I noticed her podium had Paulina Rubio written, but like by hand. I don't know, and everyone else had like name tags like printed out. I don't know if there was something where Becca had someone else in mind and changed it up. Um, but I'm glad that he chose Paulina in the end. I thought it was funny.
All right, the last one is Hidden Mistake as La Chilindrina. What did you think of Hidden Mistake?
I think Hidden needed to push themselves more for the character. Like, I don't think the voice was there. And it felt like they were a little timid about certain aspects of the character. Like, we know that Chilindrina, she has her very specific cry, and when Hidden did the cry, I thought it sounded a little. It's supposed to be like grating, and it was a little, like I said, timid. I think they could have pushed themselves more with this character.
It was so easy. Like I feel like this was the easiest to do, if anything, because it's iconic. You just have to do the one things that we'd love to see from La Chilindrina and just do them really well, or just commit to it, and you would have probably been on the top. Like it's just so easy, you know? It's not like it's a hard character to do. But the fact is that Hidden just didn't commit as much as it was needed to, you know? Like the fact that they had the lady kind of coach them, right? I think her name was Paola Gomez or something. But even then, she didn't even listen to what she was saying, I guess, because she kind of didn't. I don't know. She just disappointed me because it was so easy. Like Chilindrina, come on, it was so easy. If anything, I think this would have been the bottom. I think for me,
just because of the disappointment.
Just because it was like so easy. It was like so easy, and the fact that you can't even do that. Come on, like. Was it like horrible, like bomb? No, she kept up with the question, the one question, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it was just one question. So that was like, imagine if it was like a whole snatch game. I don't know. Yeah. I was really disappointed. She looked good. I mean, the Chilindrina look it was there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But just the commitment to it was missing. All right, so we get to the judges, and the judges declare that Liza Sansusi wins, and Hidden, like I said, would have been in the bottom, right?
Yeah.
But they gave her the 3 stars from the challenge or the mini challenge. So that put Santa Lucia and Uma Kyle in the bottom to lip sync. And so they do, and Uma Kyle ends up leaving. What did you think of the results?
I think it was about time. um, I think during the lip sync, Uma just seemed so uninterested. Like, kind of had given up already. So I'm glad that at that point Santa Lucia stayed. I think Santa Lucia did really well in the lip sync. I think there was a presence and understood the meaning of the song and kind of portrayed that in the performance. Although her left eyelash kind of distracted me throughout the whole thing because it seemed like it was like falling down or something, like falling out. But yeah, I thought her performance was good for the lip sync.
I enjoyed the lip sync too from Santa Lucia. I thought she surprised me. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, the reveal was bad though. The
Yeah, it was
reveal was very
clunky.
slow, not seamless at all.
And I feel like Uma Kyle just kind of gave, like, she kind of wanted to go home, or she didn't want to fight for her spot.
Yeah,
Like, she was saying, like, "Oh, it's time for me. I don't want to get any more." Because last time she won the immunity, she's like, "I don't want to win another immunity." Like, she was just kind of ready to go, and I don't know how to feel about that. Because I mean, if you're ready to go, I guess then you can go.
yeah,
But
you can choose to as well. Like, why do you have to go through? You could have just said bye bye in the beginning of the episode, and that way prevented like there was a chance that Hidden um could have gone home or to the lip sync, but but if someone's feeling already like they need to go, then speak up, and I'm sure they'll let you go. So
yeah, it was that I felt like she was just ready to go. And like I said, part of me is like, okay, go. But then I also kind of feel like disappointed that she didn't want to fight for herself. Like,
yeah,
this is like a dream that they claim is, they've had since they've watched the show, or whatever. So I would think you would want to stay and go all the way to the end. But I don't know. I guess being there is different. Maybe her her mind was just in a different space or something. Whatever the case
hmm
is, she was ready and she seemed happy to leave.
and we were ready.
And we were ready to see her
I'm sorry.
go. So it's okay. Everything's fine. All right. This was the episode. Did you have any more thoughts?
Yes, I did want to talk about apparently the tickets for the finale went out, and not for the streaming but for the, I guess, for the in-person people for the actual show. And immediately there was like controversy with it. So apparently they went on sale sometime this week, I think, and or I guess last week, and people were complaining about the pricing. Like, I guess they went up from what they were last year, and people didn't agree with it. Like, yeah, like generally people were complaining about how much tickets were costing for something like this, where because they were like comparing it to, I guess, like music festivals that happen in Mexico and stuff, and that's the prices that they were wanting. Um, and then there's a post on the, I don't know if there's any other communication besides this, but there's a post on the La Más Draga Instagram. I'm assuming it's on their Twitter as well, um, where they claim that these prices were in error, and basically like putting the fault on the platform, um, where people are going, or the platform that they're using to sell the tickets. And they said that for the people who already purchased their tickets, they're going to get a reimbursement, at least like of the difference, so they readjusted the prices. And I don't know if that's to be believed, or if they were trying to get away with it and try to price gouge people. Um, as we spoke about, I think it was the first episode of the season, how they they're just trying to, I mean, it's a business at this point, right? Like, they're just trying to make more and more money, and the show stays the same, at least budget wise. Like, it still looks the same. It hasn't really changed since a few seasons back when they got a bigger stage, and that's the only improvement. But yeah, I mean, they're claiming that it was a mistake, and the prices now are back to, I guess, quote unquote normal. Um, but yeah, I don't know that I believe that.
No, I don't believe it. I mean, you have to review something before even it gets out, and
Yeah,
something like the pricing is like the main thing. So how is that gonna be a mistake? Like, I would understand if it was like maybe they put the wrong date or wrong time, but the price, you don't make a mistake on that.
yeah, yeah. It would seem really unusual to have such a big mistake like that. Like, I'm sure they were trying to get away with it, because they know people. Well, I guess now they know people won't pay that much.
Well, I mean, the
um,
thing is, I understand people not wanting to pay that price, right?
yeah,
But also, I would respect more. I would respect La Más Draga more if they were just like, yeah, this is our prices. This is what we're charging. Whatever, you know.
hmm,
And if you don't want to go, then don't buy it. Um,
yeah,
I would respect that more than just trying to lie. Or also, you could just say, we're sorry. We kind of expected, I don't know, a better response or something like that. We will reduce our prices. Just be honest. Don't try to like cover
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, they're not gonna admit any culpability from this. I guess it's rectified now. Since the prices seem to be normal now. But I guess they were also like afraid that, and who knows, like maybe this is like a vocal a vocal minority, right? Like online, although it is a very online show, so um, that's where the fans are. But what if um, what I was going to say is like the show, the producers were afraid that, okay, they're seeing all this backlash, so they were like, what if people don't show up, and and they end up losing money, and or canceling the thing, and yeah, so they made the decision to change the prices at that point. Um, but yeah, like who knows if people were actually going to pay, and it was just like a vocal minority who were complaining about it, and it would have ended up being packed either way. But yeah, I mean, at this point, we won't know because it's been quote unquote fixed.
All right. All right. So this is the end of the episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you let them know where they can find us?
You can follow the podcast on Instagram at Quien es la Más, where we post the looks of the week. And we have our email address, which is quieneslamaspodcast at gmail.com, where you can send us any questions, comments. And at this point, since we usually don't get any email, sometimes I don't look at it as often as I should. But if it's there, I'll find it and we can read it here. And please don't forget to rate the podcast, because that helps us a lot with visibility. And where can they find you, Yi?
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on TikTok and on Instagram at yes, it's Yee. So thank you so much again. And we will see you next time, hopefully sooner than this week. Bye.
Bye.